Hello. This is Free Crone Radio, your voice of the prince who never sleeps. I am your host, Dr. Nicholas Gerakis. Today we have news updates, new threats, the usual. Please welcome my co-host, Murray. Murray. Do you sleep with your eyes open? Murray.
What? Where are we? Tango Echo Foxtrot. Oh, this is new. The studio. I thought I told you very plainly, never move me when I sleep. Never touch a sleeping veteran without their consent, unless you want some red-eye to gouge out your own.
That's hardly appropriate, Murray. The Vietnam War was over 40 years ago.
Wasn't talking about Nam, Doc. So, what you want to do tonight? Same thing we do every night?
We are currently recording, Murray. Please read the afforded copy verbatim.
Alternatively, Doc, you can lick my balls. Yeah, silent treatment. Makes for great radio, don't it? Kadir, the Prince of New York City and surrounding suburbs. Oh, good, we're expanding. I'm sure the princes of Secaucus and Newark are going to be happy about that. Has deemed all monthly blood tithings to be moved to the 15th of every month instead of the 1st. All registered kindred must report to their primogens in person. Names of all mortal servants must be submitted as well. Guess that means more paperwork for you, Dr. Nick. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't, because you ain't been primogen since February.
I'm quite aware of that, Murray.
How does that make you feel? You put all that time in with the prince, all that brown-nosing, only to have your privilege taken away. Kinda out of character for a kindred to turn their back on the hand that feeds them and not expect a knife in the back. How dumb can you get, Doc?
Please continue with the news at hand.
I bet she's got you in a vindiculum. Yeah, I bet that's it. You get spurned and you keep coming back for more. Didn't know you enjoyed the rug burns so much.
Spare me the slobber, you damned dog. You're in this recording booth with as much free will as I am. You are just as complacent in Kadir's claim to the city as I am.
Oh, am I now? Modern-day doctor like yourself, centrist on vampire rulership, suddenly gung-ho the moment Kadir usurps power for herself.
My loyalty to the circle of the Crone is unquestionable, unlike some people.
And people in the middle of a human centipede eventually learn to look on the bright side of life. Maybe they get used to the rug burn.
You know what will happen to you if there's too much dead air on this channel? Go ahead. Test it.
Announced this afternoon, all kindred under 5 years of their requiem are to register through their primogen to join the... You're fucking kidding me with this shit. To join the draft of nightly dog walkers. Entry into the draft is non-negotiable. You have until the 15th to register your name and haven. This is what totalitarian bullshit looks like, Devin. This is what we fought a war for. This is what we lost for. You swear fealty, sure, but if you have a registration of every kindred's name and haven in one place, what happens when that one place gets compromised or found out by a mole? You get friendly fire. You get pinned down behind enemy lines in a pillbox and targeted by jets you'll never see.
I can speak from personal experience that there is no risk of the prince's inner circle divulging personal, compromising information to or about anyone. Kadir has strengthened the masquerade to pre-Eisenhower standings.
And the Republican mantra ain't fuck the poor.
You are overreacting, which makes for great radio. I had a sound effect prepared for that, but the button is not working. Those of you listening at home will have to imagine a sad trombone playing.
You look me in the eye, Doc, and tell me that your replacement is totally airtight, leak-proof, that every primogen's mouth is covered in Flex Seal, no compromise, secret safe. Tell me you don't think you can do a better job than your replacement. Go ahead, Doc. Deny your nature as a kindred. We always want to be king of the hill because the guy above us doesn't have what it takes.
Keep thinking that and you'll end up like the sheriff.
The prince wants to put every neonate on dog watch duty down Werewolf Alley, right before a full moon, when the Flatiron Wolves are watching the subways and sending every hand they got into our ghouls' offices during the day while we sleep. They're hitting us hard through our personnel, and Kadir von Stalin wants to throw these dogs a bone. You're gonna take all the new ideas we have in the damn community and march them down a suicide mission to test the fences of the local murder furries? For what? We lose all the newbies and nobody's there to update our phones or the Twitch stream? How long would you have lasted, Doc? How long would you have lasted your first year if you were put on werewolf duty before you learned how to use your auspex? Or to hide? Or to go real fast?
The inner circle of the prince, believes in the very real threat of the lycanthrope population. We are talking about a group of thugs who can smell us out, appear inside a room from nowhere, and mangle even our strongest deva. Beyond being non-negotiable, wolves are more likely to kill off any ghouls we have planted in the local hunter cells. If enough of our people within the cells are wantonly killed, we lose our heads up on the movement within the Union and the Ashwood Abbey. That's a risk none of us should be willing to take.
And who knows where those ghouls are? Who has a complete list of all of our people?
I'm not going to divulge that information.
You know I can just ask you nicely, right, Doc? Soon as we go off air, I ask you, and then I know all you know. Hell, I'll make you rap it to the theme of Hamilton for all I care.
Then what?
Then I'll ask you what you did to the sheriff. Even if I'm wiped out for knowing too much, there's still a leak out there. You know a shit ton, Doc, but you got no idea how Kindred society works. And on that note, let's take a break to hear from one of our sponsors.
I decide when we go on commercial breaks, not you. You are the co-host.
Oh, which means you also have to read the copy.
This is ridiculous. We have access to bank accounts that have accumulated interest since Rome fell. Why are we reading sponsor copy for a podcast? Free Crone Radio is brought to you by the Cash App. We are not using the other apps anymore. The other apps became self-aware late last year, amassed a body, and now wander the earth in a false biological body with all of our personal data. So we're switching to the Cash App. Type in the code My Little Crony, and $5 goes to you, and $5 goes to the local non-profits.
Kills you inside to read that, don't it?
More than receiving unending robocalls from the shell companies of the Sackler family.
In other news, word on the street is the entire neighborhood of Hudson Yards has been declared Elysium by order of the prince. No feeding nor displays of vampirism will be tolerated within the bounds of the entire neighborhood. You see, I remember when that neighborhood used to be called Hell's Kitchen. Now it's all glass condos and that stupid copper pinecone building.
It's called The Vessel. Tickets are available online or on-site.
I guess Wilson Fisk won after all. Didn't see that coming at all. But then again, neither did Daredevil. I mean, Hudson Yards cuts off the High Line, most of the meatpacking district. The prince is going pretty far out of her way to isolate her haven.
What? That's not where her haven is at all. I've heard. No one knows where her haven is.
She keeps restricting feeding on a new part of town every other month. Kindred are gonna start starving and making public mistakes before we know it.
Which is why she's annexed so many surrounding pseudo-cities. There is plenty of space and plenty of kind to feed upon.
I'm not commuting on the PATH train for my meal every night, and I'm sure as hell not relocating to Newark. Those areas are occupied already. By the Invictus. At least on the surface. Newark's been secret dragon territory ever since Cory Booker ran for mayor. The prince is taking a page right out of the Roman playbook, Dr. Nick. Expanding borders, limiting resources, leaving herself wide open for a coup.
Except Newark and Secaucus opened their doors willingly to Kadir and her rulership. They welcome New York for what it has to offer.
Pretty easy to do that if you ask me, especially when you sneak into the other princes' havens and install a sunroof while they're not looking.
Sometimes diplomacy fails.
I bet you're just reaping those benefits too, aren't you, Doc?
And I presume you are completely happy with your clan's primogen?
Daniela is good people. You know, for an arsonist and a diablerist.
You have no proof of that! Daniela is a Ventru with a spotless, nearly 300-year record of servitude.
All I'm saying is game recognized game. I'm not going to tell her how to do her job, which is really hard to fight when you're a Ventru.
You'd never make the position anyway, Murray.
You sure about that, Doc? I'm one of the few Kindred I know who ain't Strix-ridden.
Exactly the kind of rumors you'd expect to hear from a strung-out conspiracist theorist like yourself, Murray. You're so entertaining for the radio. Again, sad trombone noise. You and your crazy story of corpse-possessing owls made of smoke. Where do you come up with this?
Just gets under your skin, don't it, Doc? Like the melt.
Another rumor that's already been put to rest.
Oh, it's resting all right. It's resting under that fatberg in the East River. Unless it is that fatberg.
That's all the time we have for now. All for one and one above all. Remember to report to your primogen by the 15th or forfeit your requiem. Say goodnight, Murray.
Bite me. We out? All right. What you want to do for dinner tonight, Doc? I'm thinking Chinese.
Too greasy.
New American?
Too opinionated. I was actually considering South American. Maybe Peruvian or Colombian, believe it or not.
Why's that?
Their screams are the best.
I always knew we'd get along, Doc. I'm getting tired of the whole frenemy relationship we have going. I'm normally better at playing the straight man. Hey, how long do you want to play this dynamic we got going?
Until the prince is no longer suspicious.
Oh, boy, we got our work cut out for us. I'm gonna direct some birds and have them keep an eye on David Cantor, by the way. Word is he's gonna make his move soon against the Maquette Primogen. A sniper might be one problem. A haunt sniper with a grudge is... well, that's the stuff of nightmares.
Even if Cantor's plan goes through, that doesn't mean I'll be reinstated as primogen. Kadir will most likely hand the position over to someone else closer to her. She always had backup plans, and plans upon those plans. Truthfully, even I don't know how deep her structure goes.
Any word from your ghoul?
She's no longer my ghoul, actually. I had to step up our relationship rather unexpectedly. We need a pair of eyes in the hospital, no matter what.
You created another? Look at you, Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, breaking vampiric law behind the prince's back.
Heather had a very promising career to look forward to. Now she has eternity. I didn't have a choice. Her wounds were too critical even for me to treat. To see the carnage around her, the blood pooling into the nooks of the synagogue pews, it sickened me. And even with 2 bullets in her gut, Heather was reaching, weakly, to staunch the bleeding of an older woman. Embracing her was... there's only so much one doctor can do. Seeing the light leave her eyes, and then rise again, but tainted forever by the beast, it was harder than you said it would be.
Yeah, it always is.
When did you first embrace another?
No, only once.
Really? In 30 years' time, you've only embraced another once.
I'm not too proud about it. I thought the blood would surpass what the painkillers had made him. I thought it would make him stronger, clearer vision, maybe even regrow his leg. Hell, it regrew mine when Devon came at it with a sharpened shovel that one time. But I was lying to myself. I was desperate. I listened to the lies of the blood. Shame. Bravest man I ever knew, too. Even being what I am, when I came to kill him, He beat my ass like it was boot camp all over again. I don't ever want to be forgiven for what I did to that man, Nick.
Maybe take your confession to the Lancea.
Or maybe God himself, since he apparently rose over the weekend.
Greek Orthodox is next weekend. That's when I'll celebrate. Maybe I can put in the good word. Should we still be talking?
Unless you don't trust your own obfuscate abilities. Hey, why are you still staring? Listen, Doc, Cedra's one of us. You can talk freely here.
I'm seeing if she's ridden. Possessed.
Oh, speaking of Smokey the Owl.
Yes. I was able to contact your contact, and her suspicions were correct. Kadir is not Egyptian. At least, not how we know the country today. Her origins go much further back. But we do at least have a starting clue to her identity.
I'm all ears.
While I was Primogen, she had us searching fervently for artifacts. The Natural History Museum, all the usual places. Most of her closest followers, however, were constantly making phone calls to contacts in northern Africa. And there was a very specific date, namely the autumnal equinox of this year.
Uh-huh. What happens at the autumnal equinox of this year?
The Strix have had interactions with Kadir's cult. It doesn't specifically adhere to Kindred society, but the Strix never forget someone who strikes them. Kadir's cult is the cult of a being named Uptet Ananka Maho.
Mahu?
Maho. Whoever they are powerful. They are due for a visit, a temporary resurrection as it were. I'll meet you later tonight, Murray, to hand off the details. I have some house calls that I need to make.
Okay. Good luck, Nick. You got all that?
Thanks for the shortcut, Rebecca. Man, Murray, we have got to party with fairies more often. They are out of their fucking minds. They know how to fuck shit up.
Yeah, well, while you were busy playing Inception on the Prince's Ghouls, Dr. Nick and I have been doing the real legwork.
Everything he says confirms what the Strix remember. Kadir's getting the world ready for her boss to make a cameo appearance in the fall, which she won't be able to do unless she procures this bad boy right here. Pulled it right out of her bodyguard's dream. It's like a pepper grinder with a cat head on top.
It's a relic, dumbass. Some kind of mummified organs, you can tell from the hieroglyphics on the sides.
So, what's the plan from here? Destroy the artifact? We hold this shit hostage? Ooh, hand it off to the Flatiron Wolves and ask the prince to pick it up in person? I mean, as long as we have this, we have leverage on the prince, don't we? Let's announce it publicly but anonymously. Make her scramble and work for it.
Nah, that's not gonna get rid of her for good. She's gonna keep cutting off our feeding while expanding her boundaries. We're gonna be in no condition to fight her. We need to start pulling in allies. If we're going in with a plan this time, Devin... We're going in with a plan this time, Devin. And it's gonna take all of us.
Granted, but still, what is our plan post-Kadir? I never really got the memo on that. Who do we want to be prince when she's gone?
No more kings. No more tyrants. No more rulers, Devin.
Oh shit, we're gonna embrace Bernie?
Let's cross that bridge when we get to it, amigo.